Sunday slate of games kicks off as the Broncos travel to the Buffalo Bills. And the matchup I want to focus on here, fellas, it's Josh Allen. Basically, the one-man show on offense. Not his arm, because I don't know if there'll be too many opportunities with his arm. We all know about this Broncos defense and what they can do in the secondary. Number one defense in the NFL this year against the pass in terms of EPA per play. But it's Josh Allen's legs. 500 rushing yards this season, 12 rushing touchdowns, and he's going up against a defense that they throw the kitchen sink at you from a blitz perspective, from a stunt perspective, but that leaves holes in that defense. Kyle, what do we think Josh Allen's performance looks like on Sunday? How do we think his game's going to go? And specifically from a rushing perspective, what's he going to be doing?
First and foremost, highly disrespectful of you to say one-man show when you know for damn sure I'm about to talk about the five hogs up front and Aaron Cromer's offensive line.
I got a good old line.
And you know what? Yeah. This has been the cleanest quarterback in the National Football League this year, and a lot of that falls on the offensive line. Yes, Josh has been fantastic. He may win the MVP, but at the end of the day, you got to give your flowers to this O-line. And I think that Josh Allen will thrive. They understand the challenge, and they're going to rise to it. Luckily, they're at home in front of a raucous crowd, and they need to jump on the Broncos early. But when Josh Allen gets loose, it is a real problem. And I know you talked about his legs, but I'm going to talk about ass a little bit because he comes with some ass behind him. And when he hits you on the second level or the third level and you got to make a business decision, I'll tell you what, a lot of guys are opting out of that interaction because Josh Allen is terribly strong, terribly fast. We saw it against the Kansas City Chiefs in crunch time. He can put the team on his back, the offense on his back.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up because he has been Superman when they needed him the most. And we could have went strength on strength, kind of like we did for the Chargers in the Houston Texans game. Because when you look at this, the Bills have given up the least amount of sacks in the NFL this year, and the Broncos have created the most sacks on defense. But I want to specifically talk about Josh Allen's legs and the Broncos' ability to rush with pass rush lane discipline. And when I say pass rush lane discipline, not creating canvases for the quarterback to not only look downfield and throw it, but to maybe even step up in the pocket and run. Kyle, you hit it on the head. We saw what Josh Allen did versus Kansas City. Like, the one thing you don't want to allow Josh Allen to do is to roll out to his right or to step up in the pocket, because you have no chance on defense if that happens, because he is like a cyborg. You talk about how hard it is to bring down, but this dude can throw the ball and put it anywhere on the field. There's literally plays you're watching on film where you think he's just running out of bounds, and then at the last second, he chucks it 40 yards down the field for a completion. And as a defender, you're like, what else are we going to do? So that's what I'm going to be tuned into this game. Can the defensive line, and you talked about it, Mike, how exotic they are with blitzes. So this goes for the safeties, the linebackers, anybody rushing. You got to have pass rush lane discipline. You can't have two guys in one gap and create a hole, and you can't out leverage Josh Allen in regards to running past the quarterback, allowing him to step up. You have to be disciplined against him, or Josh Allen will make your life hell on defense.
And what I think Buffalo will do in this matchup, it's a little bit of a prediction for you. I think what they'll do, they use 6 offensive linemen more than any team in the NFL. Alec Anderson's their usual 6th offensive lineman. They do it more than any team in the NFL. If you're playing man coverage a lot, that means if you put a 6th offensive lineman out there, you have a guy basically assigned to that guy to play man coverage. And so the more they can get into that package, that wastes a defender in some way, and that he has to kind of still have eyes on him because he is technically available as an eligible receiver. But then that gives you rush lanes at the quarterback position when you just give one more gap that the defensive line has to account for in their rush packages, their blitz packages. That I think we see a heavy emphasis on that for the Buffalo Bills, knowing that that'll give them more time offensively, give Josh Allen more time to work, more time for the wide receivers to get open, and just give him that extra second and extra gap in that offensive line should he go and run.